Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, April 11th, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is expansion is inner work. And that's kind of an interesting thing because ultimately when I think of expansion, I do think of it as being such an outward process. But really, in order to expand, we have to do a lot of inner work so that we can clear the way for whatever the energy of the expansion is. And today, the day after Jupiter's gone retrograde, we have the other Jupiter connection that I mentioned yesterday. If you did not watch the Jupiter retrograde scope, I encourage you to do so. Today, the major connection that we have is Mercury in Pisces. Mercury is finishing up in Pisces, making its third and final pass over Jupiter. So Mercury has gone over this energy 3 times. They've come into this place, this square. And so it's like, we got to get this lesson. We got to get past whatever this resistance is that is holding us back from this freedom of expansion that is coming. Now, I want to dig into this one other thing because I feel like this fits so well. So I love astronomy. I think astronomy is fascinating. I love the stars. I've been watching that they've been talking about us getting the first picture of a black hole, which is so interesting because in my mind, I always had this theory of what a black hole looked like. Maybe it was from a random Star Trek or Star Wars or something along the lines. But I had this idea, but I didn't realize we never actually knew. And so we just saw our first snapshot of that. And it's interesting because, black hole to me references infinite. It references portals to multiple dimensions, wormholes to different time, space, places, states, that kind of thing. It's definitely a call to adventure, almost feeling. So I kid you not, I've been thinking about this. I'm like, how interesting is this that it pairs up with Jupiter going retrograde? There's no accidents. There's no coincidences in the universe. I hope you heard that bell ringing at that time. There's no coincidences. This is such a divine dance that's happening. We got the energy of to see the energy of this black hole right in time for doing this inner black hole work, inner expansion around our beliefs, around knowledge, to go on that adventure. Now, I kid you not. So I've read this book, or part of this book. I had it on Kindle, and I just got it in the physical because I need to highlight it and really dig into it. So I'm just starting at the beginning and rereading through. And as I'm reading it last night, what do they start talking about in this book about womb awakening energy is the power of the Dark Mother as a black hole. Talking about the power of the womb energy as a black hole. Talking about alchemy, the alchemy work that comes from these energies. And it just even says, black hole holds octave of intelligence beyond that of a star, representing the metamorphosis of the vast stellar consciousness of a star into a new form of being, a mystery of rebirth and renewal at a cosmic scale. So I'm not going to read you the whole book, but it's just so interesting that all these things kind of came together at once. I'm reading this book, referencing the black hole, and we have this Jupiter retrograde. We have the potential through this retrograde for infinite expansion through doing inner work. And that's what I feel like is really represented by this final pass of Mercury and Jupiter squaring, showing us that resistance. And I think the thing is that going in and changing your beliefs, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he has a book, The Biology of Belief. He said that it's not as simple as playing something over it. Like, for instance, if you have the belief, I have to work hard to make money. That's kind of playing in the background, even if you're like, I like making money. Money is easy to make, that kind of thing. It's still playing in the background. What he said about beliefs is that you really do have to go in, almost like a jukebox, changing a record in a jukebox. You have to open up the jukebox and physically like take out the record and put in something else. And I think we need to be really vigilant. The process isn't, I can just wax over this thing. I can just wax over this belief that I've been carrying around with me for this lifetime and possibly other lifetimes. That we actually do need to show up to liberate the belief, to transmute it, to utilize the power of the womb, the hara, the infinite expanse within us, to shift these energies. So your work during this time, and especially with this square coming up, notice what are the memes? What are the things that are playing in the background of your mind? Bring them to the forefront of your awareness at the time. Do these beliefs support your best and highest life? Do these beliefs support your soul work? Do these beliefs line up on a spiritual level? Because like on a spiritual level, I have to work hard to make money. It doesn't actually line up. Yeah, you can if that's what you really, really, really want, but you don't have to. So it's really time to dig in to your beliefs, whether they are about relationship, money, yourself, your physical body, being on this earth, whatever that is. Dig in and start making those changes. Open up your jukebox so that you can create room for your expansion, which I love. I have the traveling card today, and this card to me usually is the card of expansion. We're doing the work, we're showing up, and we're creating space. We're going on that adventure. We are learning things. The other thing to be aware of, Moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer loves to hold on, clinging to the past. It loves to hold on to the old. And so be very aware, even these beliefs that are outdated, it's like, well, my dad worked really hard to make money, so I just feel like because he did, this is family legacy, and so I'm going to hold on to that. Be aware of those parts of yourselves, which we all have within there, that likes to hold on to these old way of beings. A lot of times we will choose the discomfort of something that we know because the discomfort of something that we know is more comfortable than the branching out, than the breaking through. So be aware of that in your expansion process. Expansion is inner work. It's an inner job. So do your work internally to allow this Jupiter to fully help you. What's the word? I just had it and it's an E word and it's not engorge, but it's something like that. I think reading this book is doing weird things in my mind. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. But be very aware, Moon in Cancer, part of the process a lot of times, I said this yesterday, and this is like one of the things that I love when things just blurt out of my mouth, and I'm like, oh my God. I said yesterday, basically, karma is just a lesson that we haven't learned yet. Sometimes the lessons we haven't learned yet, we're holding on to the emotions that are going to help us complete the lesson. So if you have emotions come up through this, Mercury's finishing up in Pisces over this last little bit, North Node in Cancer, the Moon in Cancer, this is a good day to let those emotions come. I think a lot of times we feel the stress from holding back. I think the freedom of emoting is one of the basic needs. And again, it doesn't mean you're taking out, horrible things on people, but to enable yourself, to allow yourself to be the feeling human that you are, so important. Anyways, last little thing. Tune into your dreams because they may have some interesting information for you. And if you find yourself confused today in any of the Pisces fog, totally embrace that because there are revelations that will come for you through the fog if you can allow yourself to sit with it. Okay, so besides that, you can always book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com for that. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And remembered, take a second, take a moment right now to remember, what am I grateful for? To expand your inner light as we move through this retrograde. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.